Hi, my name's Lisa and welcome to Creative Bird Studio. Today I'm just going to be showing you some things that I've been making with these Assorted Tickets and Labels set from Which Craft Do You Do. This is a digital download set, and included in the download you get all of these different pages of lots of different tickets and labels. And one of the pages I particularly like is this page here, which is Specimen Labels, and there's lots of different pictures of mushrooms and butterflies and dragonflies and insects and botanicals, so there's lots to choose from there. And I've been playing around with these today, and I'm just going to show you what I've made. So these are my little sets that I've been putting together because I've got a market stall coming up. So what they are is, recently I found these very cute little mini index cards in a shop called Dazo that we have here, and they're just a tiny little mini version, and they're actually very similarly sized to like a business card. They're pretty much exact business card size, but they're little mini index cards. So if you'd like the measurement, they are 9 centimeters by 5.5 centimeters. So what I've done is I've been playing around with these, and I have tea stained them. So these are my little tea stained cards. So all I did with these was I put down a drop sheet on the bench, and then I made up a solution of tea, and I just literally put my hand in and sort of threw and dripped the tea all over the cards, and it just leaves this lovely little various patterns. And then once they've dried, I've actually gone around with my vintage photo distress ink around the edges. I've only done that on one side, and I thought they looked quite cute as a little pocket. And there's lots of different things you could do with them, but I'll just show you this one. But what I've done is I've made it into a little pocket here, which I've sewn, and then I've added, oh, I forgot to cut off that thread. I do like threads, but I don't always leave them showing. So that's my little kit that I've put together. So each kit includes 5 of the dyed little index cards, and then 5 little inked music pages. And then the idea is that this little kit gives you the ability to make 5 little clusters like what I've got here, and it will also include some of the cheesecloth. I just need to cut it up and put that together. And the only thing that's not included is my little specimen label, which of course you can get in the download kit from Which Craft Do You Do. And I've also, don't know if you can see, I've got a little bit of Glossy Accents on the butterfly, and I have also used a bit of this Zig Wink of Stella pen, which gives it just a lovely shimmer underneath the gloss. So it looks quite nice. Right, where have I got these from here? So, I'm just going to show you, and this is actually on a piece of watercolor paper which has been tea dyed, and again I've inked the edges. So that was just a couple sheets of watercolor paper, which I love tea dyeing watercolor paper because it really takes the color nicely, because it's a bit more absorbent. Now I was just going to show you a couple of things. So when I cut out my specimen labels, so this is how they are printed, I will always cut them out this way, and then I'm left with a bunch of strips like this. I just find they're super easy just to sit on the couch in front of telly and just snip off these little short bits. Whereas if I cut them the other way, lengthways, I would have to be cutting along here, and I am not very straight with my cutting. So the smaller the area I have to cut, the better. So that's just a little tip there with your digitals, just thinking about how you might cut them out. So I'm just going to move those for a moment. So I've set these ones aside because there's specific ones here that I'm going to be using. Now I didn't ink the edges of my little specimen labels, mostly because I just got carried away and I forgot. But they do have this sort of dark edge on them anyway, so I don't think it matters too much. They are nicely shaded. Just going to cut this one. Right, and then I get my little sparkle pen and I literally just colour the whole thing, the whole top of that mushroom and the little diddy one and the coloured part of the butterfly wing. I'm just going to do a few because no one needs to sit and watch me colour in. But just to show you, if you're unfamiliar with the process or with the products that I'm using, you probably can't see on the camera, but this pen, it just gives a very subtle sort of glittery shimmer. And it's very hard to see even in person, but it's definitely there. Probably this one's showing up the best because it's on the red. But it's just a little bit sparkly. And I love a bit of sparkle. So I'm just looking for something to put these on. Right, just so that I can move them and not touch them when they're wet. So then I would just get my Glossy Accents, and hopefully it's not clogged up because I have been using it. And literally just the smallest squeeze. And I'm just getting those wings. Just squeeze at the top and sort of just pushing it down with the tip. Try not to fuss with them too much. Don't want to get any bubbles or anything, and I just find the less you mess with it, the better. Just carefully dabbing and carefully, very slightly squeezing. It's full, so it's pretty much coming out just with gravity when I turn it up. Just making sure that there's like an even thickish coat in the areas where I want it to be. And hopefully you can see it's just like a little raised up bubble there. I love this stuff. It just creates that extra little bit of something. It's just interesting. It's really good for the center of flowers, and even just for flowers, for the petals, for if you want to put some little like water looking drops on some botanical things, you can put just a little dot. That's very effective as well. So now that I've done those, they look a little bit milky, but as they dry, it will dry completely clear, like these ones. I'm just going to pop those over to the side because they're going to need several hours to dry completely. Now, I've got this piece of scrapbook paper here because I was thinking if you can't get your hands on these, or if you just have a lot of other papers or scrapbook papers that you're wanting to use up, you could very well just cut pieces of paper to this size. And you don't even have to do the tea dyeing. You could use scrapbook paper. It's already patterned. You could use a plainer one and you could do the tea dye over the top. But I would recommend, if you are going to use one, this is a 6x6. If I was going to do it personally, I would probably make it 3 inches by 2 inches. Then I could get 6 from a page and there'd be no wastage. Just because I get a bit overwhelmed with all the little bits of paper left over from these projects. So if there's a way to make it that I can use that whole piece of paper, that is a preference. So definitely another option of what you could do. Now, what else was I going to show you? Oh, here. I was just going to show you inked edges, but I just need a couple of these. Right. So I personally love the inked edge look. So I thought I would give you a comparison. So this is what it would look like if I literally just had my little tea dyed tag, my little piece of music paper that's not inked around the edges, and then this is how it looks with the inking. And just to give you an example, this is my little piece of cheesecloth. So I buy my cheesecloth just in those kind of like $2 shop type shops, and they're usually, well, sometimes actually these days I can find them in the craft section, but if I can't find them in the craft section, then it's in the kitchen section. And I just buy cheesecloth like this, and then I tea dye it, and it usually ends up with this big light bit where I've hung it over the fence to dry, but it comes out with this nice tea color, and then I can use it in this type of project. Just put that there. Put that there, pretend I'm gluing this, and then if I can grab these, there we go. So that's a comparison of the difference that inking the edges makes. I personally just think it makes the elements pop a lot more. It makes it look more interesting, and it makes it look more finished off. So that's why I just really prefer the inked edge look. If you want to experiment, you can, by all means. You can do it however you like to do it. You can ink, even just inking the edges of just this piece would make a big difference. If I take that off and pop that over here and pop that on, even that, in my opinion, looks a whole lot better. And then just to finish it off, make this stand out a little bit more, so it's not just cream on cream. So yes, I thought I would just show you that, because you might be thinking, why are you bothering to ink all those edges? And that, my friends, is why. So what else was I going to show you? I was going to, oh yeah, this. So this is the cardstock that I have used to print these. So it's thickish. It is 220 GSM, and this is just readily available where I live in Australia. I can get this card quite easily from shops near me. So this is just the card that I use, but any heavyweight cardstock would be fine. And I prefer it to be sort of a heavyweight cardstock for the embellishments and for the focal points and things, just because it's just easier to work with. It doesn't tend to curl up when you put your glossy accents on, and it's nice and stable when you go to glue it on at the end. Sorry, I really needed to cough, so I just had to pause the video then. My voice went a bit funny there. I've just been getting over a bit of a cold, so bear with me. Right, well, I think that's pretty much it. I've been putting these together for a market that I'm doing in September on the 13th. If you happen to be in Perth, Western Australia, it is at South Perth Community Centre on the 13th of September, and it is run by the Papercraft Association of WA, if you are interested to come along. And also after that, I will be putting, if there's any of these left, putting them up in my Made It shop for sale as well. So after the market, there'll probably be a whole lot of new things in my shop. But yeah, I can't put them in there until I've done the market, because then I'll know what's left. So look out for that. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.